It's time we face one of the most asked questions in the world. So the first step, you're going to set yourself just one focus for the month. You've probably heard of short-term goal setting, long-term goal setting, there's SMART goal setting, and whilst they are all important, the whole idea here is to keep it simple, to build a habit and actually stay motivated so that you can deal with all the tricky stuff later on. And this is a principle that I have been following for Mandarin. So if you want to see my Mandarin progress, you can check out the video up there, or you can check out the Instagram contour, the Instagram account, Monthly Glot, and you can see every single resource, every single thing, like behind the scenes of what I've been doing. So I want to give you my advice of stuff that I've actually been doing myself, because it works. So set one focus for the month. So for myself with Mandarin, my focus was to be able to hold a basic conversation or just talk about, basic things at the end of the month, 30 days. So what did I do? My goal then was every single day to listen to a dialogue. I watched Mandarin series. I listened to a course, but I utilized a maximum of 2 resources that were all geared around this one focus, which was to learn how to say phrases essentially and have a conversation. So what is your 1 month focus? If you want some guidance, and I'm going to say that in 95% of cases, everybody's goal is to speak and to be able to understand native speakers and be able to converse and respond back. So what I would do is I would really spend the first month listening to dialogues, reading along with them, have transcripts, and then mimicking and copying what you hear. If you use something like the Pod 101 series, you'll be able to find exactly that, or the Easy Learning series on YouTube. So whatever it is, if it's speaking, then I would say just pick your 1, maybe 2, but we're keeping it simple. So keep it at 1 resource that has audio, that has video, and the text with subtitles. So like a transcript with subtitles. That is all you need if your goal is to want to improve your speaking. And just use that for the first month. Keep it simple.
Sicura?
Sei sicura?
Io credo che inizi ad aprile.
Sei sicura? Io credo che inizi a aprile.
No, inizia a marzo.
La
No,
primavera finisce a maggio?
no, inizia a marzo. La primavera finisce a maggio. Have you ever been so passionate about something that, like, in the beginning, you go out and get absolutely everything? When I fell in love with the German language, such good times. I used to be obsessed with the German language, which is, well, one of the reasons why I got to a native speaker level in it. But at the beginning, I went to the library and I got literally every single book on the German language, and I came home, and even just like having those books in my hand made it feel like, oh my god, I'm gonna be so good at German, I'm gonna even be able to speak. And then I realized that you actually had to, use them. But the number one thing that helped me as well was a Teach Yourself series. I think it was Teach Yourself, or it might have been another audio series. I don't quite remember, but it was definitely just this one CD and book pack that did everything for me. And I found it so helpful. And it can be very, very tempting because of all the resources that are available to you online and things you can order on Amazon and books you can buy in the bookstore, that you can feel tempted to want to jump from one to the other, go and get a grammar book and then start reading short stories and watch this video and watch this series. The next step is really just, we're gonna aim it at 1 month, but keep it simple, stupid. The KISS principle. Keep it simple. And a good way of really measuring this is if you can feel yourself getting overwhelmed or losing focus and you don't really know what's going on, keep it simple. Now, if you've got a pen and paper or your phone, I want you to write these following questions down and answer them. So, number 1, what is your goal? AKA, what do you want to be able to do by the end of the month? If it's speaking, I want you to write down 3 topics you want to be able to speak about. The next thing, I want you to find 3 dialogues about those. Then, I want you to write down 3 resources that you have found. And if you haven't looked for any, then this could be an incentive to go and find them. But note down 3 resources that you really enjoy. Go look for audio stuff and video stuff. Trust me, you're not going to regret it. And make sure they have transcripts, guys. Make sure they have transcripts. Now, what do you do on a daily basis, and how can you incorporate 10 minutes of study into your day? Write down now, this is point number 3, where in your day can you incorporate? Now you notice I'm not saying create time for, but incorporate using the resource that you want to stick to. So for example, what I do is I stack habits. So this is a principle. If you've read the book Atomic Habits, you'll know about it. Habit stacking, where you've already got a habit and you just add something on top of that. So for me, I have now incorporated learning Mandarin and listening to Mandarin, okay, having an active session into or on top of something that I already do. So when I have my coffee in the morning, usually that's the trigger for me to go and do Mandarin afterwards. And I set myself the simple goal of just 10 minutes, and honestly it has turned into like 45 minutes. Now I don't do that every day, but I make sure to do it every 2 days. So as well, if you feel like you can't stick to it every single day, then set the goal for every 2 days to spend X amount of minutes. Start as small as possible. Remember, keep it simple. So where are you going to incorporate your language learning with that one resource that you're going to stick to? So the next point I have already kind of mentioned, but use audio, video with subtitles and text transcripted. Really, really important, because what you're going to do is you're going to watch it and you're going to use it for listening. In the first month, focus on listening as much as possible. Why this is important? For a number of reasons. Number 1, you can't have output without input. You can't know how to say something if you haven't heard it. The next thing as well, on that note, books are not going to help you with that, because
Kan ikke okay. Du har blivit smalare.
What I stuffed up here majorly was I thought, oh my god, I'm going to go buy a book first because it's a beginner's book and it'll be easy, without actually learning the pronunciation of Swedish and Dutch. And you'll see that I completely just stuffed it up, and I actually had to really unlearn certain things. Like I would say kenna because it sounded like German, or looked like German, and it was actually känna, and I had to like really like impregnate that into my mind. So if you want to speak the language, forget about grammar books. Have your goal in mind, have it posted on your wall, and use audio and video and listen. Now once you've started to listen, then you can start mimic what they say. And then what I would also do as kind of the last final step, when you feel like you know the dialogue, you've repeated it many times, it's like acting, guys. It's like acting. What I would do then is I would pause. So you'll see this in my Mandarin dialogue in a second. There are 2 speakers. One is asking the question and one is answering the question. And Q&A like type videos are amazing for this, because that's what's going to happen in real life. But what you want to do is you pause it and give your own answer. And if you don't know how to do that, then you can use Google Translate. And if you want to be 100% sure, use apps like Tandem. Ask people who are native speakers for help. But honestly, Google Translate isn't as bad as people say it is. And what you can do as well is you can then like just go into Google and type in the phrase and find out if that's actually how you say something. I did this, for example, for saying my age in Chinese. So that is your learning process. That is what your active learning sessions should look like. Lots and lots of input, and start practicing output. And then what you want to do is you want to repeat. So every, I'm going to say 2 to 4 days, repeat using exactly that. And this is why a lot of people who go and use different resources and jump between things don't actually get very far, because your brain needs time to solidify that information. It needs to repeat that information so that it really gets stored in your long-term memory. So have a revision session, which is actually really easy, because if you've listened to that thing already, then you're already familiar with it. And when you hear it again, you're gonna be like, that's the one. Like, 我要咖啡. Do you know how many times I've heard that in my like course or audio course because I've listened to it so many times, and I would just put it on in the background for my like revision sessions. So repeat, repeat, repeat. And now at the end of the week, I want you to do the following. Q&A. You're going to have consumed a lot of information, but if you've been using dialogues and if you've been using like question answer type of videos or audios, then this is going to be amazing and really simple to do. All the questions that you've like picked up on and heard, and usually in the beginning they are like, where are you from? What do you do in your spare time? What do you do for work? Other questions might have come up for you that are more relevant to your life, but put those down and revise your answers. Practice out loud saying your answers. And as I said, like I've been using the app Tandem and found some tandem partners for Mandarin to do this, and so that I can have my pronunciation corrected and also really get that input from native speakers. So I'm going to give you an example now so you guys can see.
科隆是一个很美丽的城市。我第一次去德国的时候就去的科隆。我有参观科隆的教堂。
And then we have my response. I think I need to.
科隆很好。我在柏林住了2年。But yeah, now I'm just visiting Cologne.
So there you go. Here's a little conversation. Now I hope you guys found this video helpful. Let me know below what language you are learning and how else I can help you in your journey. If you're starting to learn a language or you really, really want to learn a new one, tell me which one it is and I can provide you with some resources as well. So other than that, leave a like, subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button so you never miss out a video from moi, and I will see you guys next time. Ciao, ciao.